Hey, it's Miss. I am so glad to be with you tonight. We are going to paint a really fun fall Saltbox house. So, I know a lot of you have the stencil. I was going to say grab your stencil, grab a notepad if you need to write some colors down or make any notes. That is always helpful. And you can also screenshot stuff. So, let's get started on this. This one is the size medium. Tonight we're going to use the small. I'm going to paint the small one, but this is actually the size medium. I got it in two sizes. So this is just a scrap piece of wood that I had, and it's thin, but I want to use it on an old chair that I use right beside my door on the porch, and I want to put a pumpkin there, and I think this will look really good standing there. So I just love Saltbox. I love primitive stuff. So I was really tickled with it, and it was really fun and very easy to paint. We're not going to do this tonight on the smaller one because it's just small. But on this one, I actually used modeling paste to do the leaves. So they are kind of like a texture and stand up a little bit, which make it really fun. So, but I just added some jute in a really fun bow. I used an old rusty star that I had. And that's about it. So that's the medium size stencil. And tonight we're going to do it, like I said, smaller, and we're going to do the house a different color. So I love the burgundy. Like, that's probably my favorite, but I thought we would switch it up and do a different background and a different color for tonight. So anyway, it's just really, really fun. So I will turn the camera down and we will get started. And by the way, you did not get a text tonight because I don't have a text service anymore as of today. News to me. So I'll tell you that in a little bit. So anyway, I just hope you enjoy this. I think, like I said, it's really a fun and easy. Like I always tell you, that the stencils with the overlays always make a project quite easy, and I think that's fun because it makes any level of painter capable to do it. So I just think it's fun to utilize the stencils for that, and the fact that they are very user friendly. So anyway, I'm gonna put the link in for the Saltbox. I know a lot of you already got it, but I put the link in for it. This is this size is the medium. The one we're gonna paint tonight is the small. Okay, so hello, Betty Jo and Diane and Patricia. But I did want to, just in case you didn't get the stencil and you want it, you can grab it. Okay, so there's the link. And if you use the code Being Creative with Miss, you always get 15% off. So don't forget that. Alrighty? All right. So these little pumpkins are so cute too. But I don't know. I just had a lot of fun doing this. So let's flip the camera down and get situated here. This is the part I hate because I always just take you all over the place and you see all kinds of craziness, and then I get it up so far and then I can't see it. So I think I might need to flip it again. I'm not sure. You always end up seeing my lap and everything else. So let's see if we've got it. So this one, like I said, I have it ready to go. This I did on this color, the background on this, which I really like this color. I started to use it again, but I use light mocha if you want to screenshot that or jot that down. I did use light mocha for that. I'll take my Band-Aid off. I cut my finger today. Pretty blood, a bunch. I don't want my Band-Aid on though. But anyway, that background is light mocha. And I just say it looked really pretty with that. So, and then this burgundy color that I used was Folk Art True Burgundy. And then everything else will kind of be the same tonight. So, but we're going to switch out and do our house green. And I'm going to use Lush Green for it. And then the background is just sky blue with the white, baby white method. And so I just have it on a block. So we aren't going to do the wording. We are going to just do the house. So I did the wording on this. It's very easy to do. It's really cute. I dotted it, connected my bridges, and it's pretty quick. I also did a palette knife edge on this just because I love doing palette knives. So that's kind of how I finished this off, was just modeling paste with dark brown, and gave that a palette knife edge, which I love. So that's how I did it. So let me expand that right there. So I was glad a lot of you said that you wanted to do this, because it is just a really fun stencil to do. So we're going to start off with the Lush Green. I was going to use Hunter Green, like that's what we used to always use, or that's what I always used to use. It was kind of like burgundy, navy, Hunter Green, the dark mustard. So I was going to use that, and I'm like, no. I had seen some salt boxes that were kind of more of a green, a different green, you know, more like a, not the Hunter Green, but more this kind of a green, or this tone, I guess, olivey. So I thought, well, let's just give that a whirl and see what that looks like. And then I also kept thinking that the sky would be pretty if it was the blues and stuff. But then I don't know, I really liked the background on the bigger one that I just showed you with the light mocha. I thought it was, I just liked the color of it and how all the colors kind of meshed together. I liked them. So, all right, let's dry that before we start lifting it. No, I just took myself clear out of that. So just give that a quick little dry, and then we're going to come back in. It's a little bit hot. Kind of hold those edges down and just go right back over it. Reload. I finally got some mums today. I had not, which is unusual. It just was really hot, and I hadn't gone and gotten them because I wanted it to feel like fall. Like I didn't want, I don't know, I just, like, it's hard to shop, not shop, but yeah, like it's hard to feel like you have, like you want to decorate fall, or it is for me, like when it's 85 and really hot. So I kept kind of putting it off. And then Mark and I had those colds and were sick, and we just kind of battled those back and forth, like good days, bad days, hanging on forever. But then I've also been having some stomach issues and been quite sick with that, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. Last time I went through this, it was about a year and a half ago, I guess, when it all started. I don't know. I ended up losing like 15 pounds. I don't know. So today I finally got to go, and it was just the perfect fall day too. It was really, really a nice day. I thought I came out on that, but I don't guess I did. I think I just didn't get the line solid enough. But it was a beautiful day. It was really foggy and overcast the first part of the morning, but then when the sun came out, it really came out, and it was just a gorgeous day. So anyway, that was fun to get some mums. I don't have them planted yet or anything in the pot, in the planters across the front, but I did get them, and I got some pumpkins. I had a few, but I did get some I don't know, different pumpkin. Like, I was gonna say wonky looking pumpkins, but I guess you don't. Just different types of pumpkins, like some warty ones, and you know, the flat ones, and the turban kind, you know, all that. So I'm anxious to get all that stuff out. So it got quite warm this afternoon, but then this evening it got really cold again. So, or not cold, but very cool. So anyway, I'm looking over here. Yeah, right up Tracy's alley, you're right. So, all right. So now for the tree, we're just going to use some brown. So this is espresso brown. So I'm just getting a little on my, actually, probably, as little as that would probably do much better. I love to use, when I learned to stencil, I use a sponge, like, and I do that a lot. But like, I like to use a stencil brush in little smaller detailed areas because it really does do a good job. So this is just, like I said, espresso, and then we'll kind of darken it a little bit. Let me dry that. I can't believe we've ticked off another week and that tomorrow is Friday. I cannot believe it. I'm just like, I've got a show in 4 weeks. I've literally lost a week. Just not really getting to do anything. So I gotta kick it into gear. I've got a lot to do. Okay, so I'm gonna give this one more little go around, and now I'm gonna put that stencil brush. I have a really dark brown right there, and I'm gonna not rinse my brush or anything. Of course, you wouldn't want to get a stencil brush wet, but I'm just going to kind of go back into my espresso because I want a little bit darker value, and then I'm going to really rub it off. And then I'm going to kind of just whisk it along this side. Actually, my paint wasn't dry, and it kind of took it off. Let's dry that and try that again. So I'm just going to add a little bit of darker on that side is all I'm doing. Tap it around up in here, but I wanted the trunk a little darker. Okay. And we'll come back and add, we're going to add a crow down here with our pumpkins. But for now, that is the first overlay, and that's basically all we need to do for that. So the first overlay, I mean, that's the base. This is the first overlay. So that just fits right on there, which gives you your roof line. Rough. I said that funny. So you just line it right up, and you are good to go. So I'm going to use a little piece of tape and tape that down. You use your hairdryer, Tasty. I usually use a regular heat gun is what I've always used, and I use that little one just because it's quieter. That's why I got it. But with the stencils, I really like it because the heat gun is way too hot. Mine is. It's just super hot. And this one dries really quick, but it's not like it wouldn't melt my stencil or anything. So that works out good. Okay, so we're going to do the roof black. So I'm just going to load my sponge and then offload it. Kind of tap all that off. And the windows and the roof are black. So I do need to go in here because I will get crazy and end up painting my pumpkin stems black those little pumpkin stems are right there. I don't want to paint those black. So I'm going to put one there and one there. I think I could have tore littler pieces and I've been okay. All right. So now we can just go to town and get it black. This sponge is kind of wonka-doodle. I'm going to change to this one. All right. So I'm just going to go in and stamp that roof in real quick. I think this is a pretty quick stencil too. The bigger one, I felt like it really didn't take me very long to do it. And like I already mentioned, it was just really fun to create. So we have our dividing line right there. There's our door. So I used a metal rusty star and I kind of brushed some salted caramel over it, but on my bigger one, but you can use the star right on the stencil and just put it on. You don't have to use a rusty one or whatever you have. I'm going to drop that down a little bit because, well, I'm not coming clear down. I mean, I wasn't hitting clear at the bottom. Whoops. I try to move it down a little bit just so I make sure I overlap that other color. I don't think I blotted that off. I hope I just didn't bleed. Hopefully I did not. But I did a little bit. I was talking and stopped and saw that line, so now I have to fix it. But anyway, I was going to tell you about my text service fiasco, which was, I thought, interesting. I was a little bit disappointed in that whole thing. I'll try to make a long story short out of it, but I think I've told you before the text service I use to send out like mass text. I mean, it's $60. It's $59.99 a month, and I mean it's kind of. I mean I have a lot of expenses by the time you do email and website and all the things. It all adds up, so you have to pay for all that stuff, and it's just expensive. Credit card fees, all the things. So my text service always felt like is expensive, but I also felt like it was worth it because a lot of people don't get notifications, and I like for you to know when I'm going live. So I've just always kind of tried to keep it, or I have kept it, not tried to keep it. And I just felt like it was important, so I've tried to keep it. So my my bank, where my business account is, they redid all of their banking system. Like, they sent out these packets and everything, and like, it was, some of the online banking was down for a couple of days. Like, it was this, big whatever for them. And they issued all new cards, debit cards, and all that. Like, everything changed. So you had to re-log in, which I can't even get in mine. The girl gave me a number, and I need to fix it, go get it fixed. And so that's just, like a big deal. So I've had to go in and change. I'm just fixing this line right here. I've had to go in and update all my payment information because, like I said, they issued new cards and, just all the things. So trying to do that with my texting app, it would kept saying the CVC was wrong. Like, it wouldn't let me update my payment, which I thought was odd. So anyway, I had sent an email, and so they wrote back this afternoon and said that I was on the old, like the original or old text or old, what's it called, plan. And they have a new plan now, and it starts at $199 a month, and then you pay per text that goes out. So you have to pay on top of that for each text that you send. I was like, that's interesting. So I was kind of like blindsided by that. So they would need to re-sign me up, for a new plan. And I'm like, I can't do, like $200 a month plus paying for every text. I know. So I was really disappointed because I have, like kind of everything set up through that, and my waiting list and my Christmas at the Hive list and snow cone. Like all the things. So I was like, that's a bummer. So I know you probably didn't want to hear that big long story, but that's why I don't have a text number. So I was just like, I don't know. I was just kind of, I was disappointed. I was really disappointed in the whole thing, and thought it was kind of a, I don't know, weird way to tell you. I don't know. So, oh well. So I was telling Mark about it right before I went live. He said, well, good luck. He always wishes me good luck and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't even know. Can't really tell everyone I'm coming on. Just have to do better about sending out emails and stuff like that. And kind of, oh, I forgot to do my stems. See, I got all caught up in my big story and forgot. Anyway, so I don't know. I've explored some other things. Actually, I have a new, well, I say it's new. I've had it for, I'm embarrassed to say this, for 5 months. It's kind of an all, like I have Linktree, which is on they're all separate platforms, like MailChimp for email and Linktree for all the links. And so I have all these like different places. So I had kind of bought this, it's like all of it in one. It's called Equip, and it's really neat. It's expensive, but it would be like all in one. Like, so my email's all on that. It has a text service, a Linktree. It's not Linktree, but it's just like Linktree. So, and it's all on this platform called Equipped. And I bought it, paid for the year up front, which was expensive, and all that. Kind of, my mother-in-law had gotten sick and passed away, and like it just kind of all came at us, and then a lot has come with that. And then my father-in-law has been really ill, and I just like, if there's a lot to learn on it. I started on it, and I have done work on it, setting it up. It's kind of hard, but I have made progress on it, but I haven't been able to dedicate the time and the training. It's just one more thing. I just tapped a little bit of white on those pumpkin stems that are going to be on the green, just so I can go in with the brown and put those in. So I'm going to go back to my stencil brush for that. Anyway, so within that Equip platform, I do have a text service within that. So I need to figure that out and get that set up. That is, my other option, which, would work fine. I just need to put in the time and the training. And I like learning new things, but, it's not always easy to learn new things, or it's not for me. And it does take a good bit of time to dedicate to learn things, and I'm old. Oh gosh. All right, I am tapping around on those, trying to get them dark enough, but I may have to go back in with my brush. Whoops, I just dropped it. So anyway, aren't you glad I told you all that? But I am really bummed. I don't know. My text service didn't give me notifications all the time. Like, I never knew when I got texted, and I have to remember to go over there and look, which I wasn't great about doing. And I had a couple people that I had information I was getting back to them on. Of course, they took it down. So, I can't even do that. Okay, so that is the first layer. So there's our pumpkin stems. I'm going to go in with my angle brush, and I'm going to use this dark brown value, and I'm going to see how that looks on that green. I'm not really sure. I kind of thought about just using well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what this looks like. So I'm going to go under that roof line because that would cast a shadow. Take that up. I keep thinking I have something, like I keep wanting to flick that off because I keep thinking it's something and it's actually just a stem waiting to be a pumpkin. So I'm going to take this under the roof line. I keep feeling like I'm saying that funny. Roof. I'm saying rough. Or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Stacy, that's a good idea. And well, I don't know how they do music because I guess you have to be really careful with music. But, I mean, I can delay. It's just that for a long time, especially, Facebook wasn't notifying you when you were going live. So a lot of people just didn't know when I was going live. They didn't get the notification. So a lot of us crafters ended up subscribing to community text and a text service to be able to do that. Now, if you have a really huge page, which I don't, I think you have to have 10,000 to be able to use, like, get the Messenger Mass app. Like, not app, but to be able to use, like, mass messages, like, through Messenger. And I don't have 10,000. So, a lot of the girls have gone to that. And I kept wondering why. I know this one girl I follow was like, she was using the same text service, and she's like huge compared to me. I mean, well, she's huge, period. And her pages are really big. And she had quit using it, and I was surprised, but I didn't know why. And that was like a couple months ago. And then another girl quit using it, and I didn't know why. And now I'm like, maybe that's why. Maybe as things need renewed or something, they kind of, maybe the cost, I guess. But I don't know for sure. But then it kind of like, oh, maybe that's why people weren't using it as much. I don't know. So, but that made me suspect that. But anyway, that's that story. Kind of a bummer, though. Ooh, a little bit of shading makes a big difference. I'm going to shade up this other side as well, even though that's actually a highlight more. But I'm going to go hit that with some white too when we dry brush. round that out, round that corner out, and that corner out. Alrighty. Looking good. Okay. Let's go to our last overlay. So you can line that up. So I'm just lining it right up with my little pumpkin stems. I put your star in the right place and all that. I have some little metal stencil, little stars. There they are. These are black metal ones, but I kind of liked using that, but I don't know if I will. This one's not folky enough. It's just regular. Do you think that would look okay, or do you think it's not folky enough? Like folk, primitive. I'm folky. I'm thinking folk art, and so it's really kind of more like a star. I like this better just because I like the shape of it, but I'll change the color. Or do you just think I should stencil it? I don't know. I don't know. Do you think? What do you think about the stars? Or do you think I should just bypass that and stencil it on? Because I can just stencil it. I need to get a new paper towel. Okay, so I have some white because I'm going to be going dark and light. So I am going to throw some white on that, so I can start with a better background. This makes it a little bit easier. It will make the color easier to show up. Alright, so I have out, you can use burnt orange or red spice, either one. That's what I have out on my palette. So I'm going to use that stencil brush. I need to pitch it, but I just keep hanging on to it. It's seen better days, but I still just keep it around. So this is a 1/4 inch. And I always tell you all the time, like, I love the 1/4 inch and 3 inch. Like, I use them so much. So, you like the metal star? Use the primitive one. Okay. So I'm going to go in and just, use, you can, like I said, use burnt orange or the red spice. So I'm just going to go in and get the pumpkins going. But that white really helps make that underneath just kind of more of an even color tone. So they look a little orange right now, but we will definitely get them fixed up for sure. Do a little swirling around now. So once that first coat is dry, you can go in and get a little bit of a deeper, better coat on there. I keep thinking, maybe I shouldn't have done the green. I don't know. I hope it looks okay. I keep kind of second guessing, like, should I have done that? Maybe I should have kept it burgundy. I said about you always use like the burgundy, navy, mustard and all that, but I used to love using navy. Like, I've always liked the color navy, and I loved using navy back in the day. That was fun. all those primitive colors are just great. And I'm just seeing it more and more. Like, it's kind of fun to see it surfacing, I guess. So I'm going to take that orange and tap a little bit in that brown. Not cleaning my brush or anything, just kind of tapping it. And then I'm going to go into the darker mix as well. And now I'm going to tap around on that right side of the pumpkin and a little bit across the bottom. Kind of shadow that. Shade it, shadow it. And then if you want to go back into the orange and rub it out, it kind of will make an orangish brown again. You can kind of tap around on it again if you want to. And now I'm going to wipe it off really good. I'm going to go into my white and give it a swirl around there. And now I'm going to tap. Whoops, I think I have too much paint in there. You really want to get all the paint off. So now I'm going to tap around, kind of bring it down a little on that left side. And now I'm going to go back into the white again and swirl that around, but then dip it twice to get, I'm trying to work some of the orange out. And then I'm going to go back in. Whoops, still too much paint. I thought I had it all off. Okay, now I'm going to go back in and more tap than brush. So there is our pumpkins. So that's what they look like when you lift it up. They're fun to do. Okay. I like the green. I like it. I don't know why I'm worried about it. Let's put this star on a piece of tape just to hold it. And I am going to get a dry brush and I'm going to go into Salted Caramel. That's a good color. That's a new color for this year, 2024 color. So I'm going to kind of dry brush that and then let it set, and then I'll go back and, well, I'll dry it and then go back and color it. I don't want it black. I want it to show up. And I didn't have a rusty. Well, I take that back. I think I do have a rusty one. I just don't know where they're at. I stuck them somewhere and I can't find them. But I've got a bunch of these black ones. I bought them to sell, gosh, probably 5 years ago or so. I was using them for some kind of project. And then I never did. I think I did list some and sold some, and then I ordered some more and then never ended up putting them back on the site. So I have a whole container of them, so I'm like, well, that'll work. I'll use that. So you can paint anything. You know, I love to paint a jingle bell or anything to match. Plus, it makes it look kind of rustic looking. So we'll set that aside. All right, so now we have a crow here. And we have another crow that we're going to use down in here. What was I going to say? Oh, the leaves, like I told you, on the bigger one, I mixed my colors with modeling paste. And really, it was fun. I just did it right on top. I just took the modeling paste and tapped all the different colors in. And I really like how that looks, but I felt like this was probably too small. You could do it But I just don't think it, I guess to mix it and everything, not that that's hard or anything, I was just going to say that I don't think they're big enough that it would be super effective, that it would make a standout difference. Why am I having such a hard time talking tonight? I just don't think it would be a game changer or anything. So now our other little crow, I'm going to just use down here. And I'm not sure where. There's some leaves around in there. But I think I'm just going to set him just right there is fine. And then we have the one up there, and then I'll do his beak and stuff as well. So for the leaves, you can do a mix of colors. So I kind of like during Harvest in the Hive, I use I like the True Burgundy. And then I like to use like the Sunset Gold, that's this one. And then you can use like the Burnt Orange or Red Spice, that's Salted Caramel. You can mix a green one in there every now and then and tap it with some brown. Like I just kind of, you know, if you watch Christmas in the Hive, you know, I kind of just went all over the place, just, you know, adding different color like that. So I'm going to start with just my stencil brush and kind of, I'm just going to throw colors around just randomly here and there. So let me get this kind of where I want it. I moved that a little bit because I moved that one crow down. So, okay, so I'm going to start with the Sunset Gold. And I'm going to just use a stencil brush. Okay, so I'm just going to randomly go around and add leaves wherever. Actually, I'm going to go into the Salted Caramel. I think then I won't have to go over it as many times. I used the Sunset Gold on the other one, but it will be better to not have to make as many coats and take as long. So you're just going to randomly put, you know, I just try to pick, you know, different areas to put the gold ones. So then I'm just going to go real quick back and do another, hit them again. Okay, so now I'm going to go into some Red Spice. And I didn't clean my brush or anything, it's just the same one. And I'm just going to go in and start adding that color randomly here and there. Now down here, we'll have to move the stencil around, and I'll do that shortly. Okay. I've got a little more paint. I could have probably picked it up off the paper towel and been better off, but that's all right. So I'm just going to go in and swirl around on those again. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of wipe that off. And I am going to go in, and I didn't use green on my other one, but I like to do that, especially since my house is green. So I'm going to take a few little green, put a few green in here and there. Not as many, but I wanted a few. And because my brush isn't completely clean, it's not a vivid and bright as green as the house anyway, so it ends up working out really good. It looks like a fall green. Okay, So now let's go into that true burgundy and add that color. And again, you don't have to clean your brush or get a different brush. You can just keep using that same brush. I think I'm going to have more burgundy than I'll have to go back and hit those other ones with a different color. All right, now we're going to do that again. Okay, so we're going to go in the colors again because we need to add some other leaves, but I'm going to just go in the brown and kind of work that off. So it's going to be a reddish brown, really. I'm going to put a couple in there, that color. Kind of break that up. Then I'm going to go back into my red, pick up a little red, a little orange, and kind of mesh that. Okay, so, isn't that cute? Cute little leaves. But I want some other random ones around, so you can either do that with a paintbrush or just use your stencil to kind of do that. You can just keep moving it. So I want some down in here, like, because I couldn't use those there because I put the crow. So I'm just going to kind of put that to the side. And then I'm going to tap some brown in. This is where you can play in colors too. These leaves really they're not very big, so you can't play with the color as much, messing in them and kind of blending colors. Like I did that a lot in Harvest at the Hive, and that is fun to do. You can kind of turn it and just use them in different places. And like I said, I also, on my other one, just also kind of took my little liner and just painted my own in, like in some random places as well, because I wanted some areas up above my house and stuff and below it, so that's why I did that. So you can just kind of scatter them around, because I don't want it to abruptly stop there by any means, because I'm going to tie up above this. We didn't put the wording on this one, so we're going to just also have some leaves here and there. Okay, so this part takes a little bit of time because you're kind of switching back and forth between colors. But so I went into some orange, so we'll get a little bit of orange going. And let's see. I think we need something right there. It's kind of blank looking. I don't know how I got my paper towel clear up there. Okay. So anyway, you get the gist. I can go back in and fill in more later. I don't have to keep you forever, like just doodaddling with little leaves. But so you just kind of want to, randomly put those here and there. And that kind of makes it look, I think, a little more finished since I have all this extra room at the top and stuff. So you can just continue with doing that. Okay. I'll let you stick. Like I said, go back and add a few more, but so I'm going to tie around that, so I won't be able to do it in all the places I want to. So, alrighty. Isn't it cute? Look at that. I just mirrored a great big place on it. But anyway, it's really, I think it's really cute. Baby wipe saves the day. Again. I don't even know where I got that big blob from, but I did. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm afraid, I keep saying I'm going to go back and do that, but I'm afraid, like, well, if you tie that thing across there, it's going to be harder to do. I just have more leaves bunched down in there, and it looks funny. So, I certainly don't want it to look funny. Okay, good enough, right? Alrighty, cute, cute, cute. It's not, I did check my stencil back. I was going to say it's not on there. It is at the bottom. I thought it was on the side, and I didn't see it. But okay, so there is our leaves. So let's get our dry brush and finish cleaning up the orange. And we're going to dry brush some places. And that will add a bunch to it. So I'm going to take a little dry brush and get in the white. And let's do a little dry brushing. First of all, I'm going to brush down this roof line. And it changes it so much right off the bat. I'm going to brush a little on the tree. You can just reload whenever you need to. Now on this, I'm going to go across. And you don't have to do this. This is just how I did it. And then I'm going to come down. Just kind of, that's how I did my roof. And then I'm also going to hit these little, I'm going to try to stay more to the right or the left side, but. And then this line on the other side of that black line, I'm going to kind of dry brush that from the roof down. I love the burgundy because I like burgundy, but I do like the green. You can dry brush around on your pumpkins if you feel like they need it. And I always tap a little on my bird because it just takes the starkness off of it. Kind of tap around on it. And it changes it quite a bit. You can also, it kind of gets out on your background, depending on your background color. With this background color, I can get away with it. And I can, on some of my darker leaves, can actually tap a little dry brushing. But, I need a leaf right there. But anyway, I'm going to come back on my tree and kind of come to this one side. Tap a little on that. And then you can go back and add, you know, if you want it stronger anywhere, just tap on it some more. What do you think? Isn't it cute? What are you going to zap me for? What did I do? I'm always saying that I need to give the girls a zapper to zap me. Cute, cute, cute. Kind of cute. I am going to go around this little thing. Now, absolutely do not worry if you don't have anything, but like sometimes shop your stash. Sometimes you're, if you're like me, you might be surprised what you find, because you might have something. But I happened to think of this earlier and I was like, I'm pretty sure I've got a bunch of black ones, and then within my black ones I found the rusted ones that I used on the big one, the bigger one. But I'm going to kind of use that on the edges so it's not so stark. And I'm also going to, I'll use my liner pen on it too. I need a little liner. So I am going to go in with salted caramel. Actually, I don't know that this is my good liner. Sorry if I just put my head in front of that. I had the wrong brush. Okay, I'm going to go in with my liner. And I am going to get in that salted caramel. And I'm just going to tap, or not tap, I'm going to kind of pull a line back. You don't have to give him a beak, actually. He probably doesn't need one for primitive, but I'm going to give him one. That's just how I liked him. And I put a doorknob on my other one, which I don't know if I should have, but I did. I put a dot on it for a doorknob. So there's that. So you can kind of add some white highlight marks on some places too. And kind of go up the roof. You can, I don't want that highlighted. It was a little stronger than I anticipated. My baby wipe dried out. You can add a little bit on the tree, whatever. You can turn it down with your finger or whatever. I'm also, some of the, again, the bolder leaves, you can kind of go in on a few. I mean, certainly wouldn't want to do it on all of them, but you can hit a little white down that left area. And it looks nice to add that here and there. It's just all in how much time you want to put in it. So, if you don't, then just don't do that. But it looks nice here and there. I'm probably messing the camera up when I raise this up, sorry. Probably taking the focus is probably going crazy. Alright, so now, of course, we'll spatter that and it'll look much better. I'm going to make this stem a little bit bigger. I think I kind of lost it there. And you can also take a little bit of white and brown, and just a tad, you can kind of hit one side of that stem if you want, just to make it look, stand out a little bit. And you can brush back in the tail if you want. Okay. So doorknob or no doorknob? Should I just leave it alone? Leave it alone. I think I have a bunch of rusty snowflakes I found. Packages. I'll have to look. I don't know what I did with them, but... Okay, let's take... I don't know. I thought I had mine. Here it is. I was gonna say, I thought I already had one laid out. Okay, so I'm going to take this liner. This is a 005. And make some lines right around the star. Okay, and then I'm also going to do that around the pumpkins a little bit to make them stand out. And you can also kind of put some veins in them if you want as well. You can even, I think I kind of floated them, not more floated them, but painted them on my other ones, but they're much bigger pumpkin than these. But you can add some little veins if you want. You can also, especially on your lighter ones, or you can take the time to do them all, but you can put some veins in some of your leaves. Like I said, on the lighter ones it shows up much better than the dark. But you can do that. And on my other one I also did this. I put a few little pumpkin viney thingies. So you can do that if you wish. So there's that. And then it needs a good spatter. It needs spattered for sure. And then that needs glued right there. So let's glue that. I might have maybe should have used a different glue, but we're going to go with that one for right now. Cute, cute, cute. I like it. So now, let me rinse that. Goodness gracious, good stuff everywhere. You like it? Pretty cute. It's just a really fun little stencil. So we can spatter it with some white and also some dark. So I put on my glove and grabbed a toothbrush here, and I dip my paintbrush in water first. So I kind of tested everything. My remote, everything I have is spattered. I'm always like a disaster. Okay, so I want it to show up on those darker colors. So flick a little bit on there. And then I'm going to rinse that, and then I'll just go into these two, tap off some of the water. I want my toothbrush to be wet, but I don't want it drippy because it'll make big splatter parts. So then I'll kind of go like that, and we'll spatter it. The background area. I will do something up the sides. I have, you know, like fall border stencils and stuff like that, but I'm not sure what I will do yet, but I will do something. Cute, cute, cute. All right. So let's tie some ribbon around the top. Some jute. I already have a bow over here to the side, but we're also going to take this, and this comes in, it's just, I call it cotton. It's called twill tape, but I just call it cotton. But like there's a bigger one. This is like a canvas trim, which looks the same canvas, but it comes in like white or cream or you know. So I always say that you can paint ribbon, you can paint bells, you can do all kinds of stuff. This is how I cut my finger today. I snipped it right. I was just hurrying, and these are really sharp, and I just snipped the daylights out of it. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now, I'm going to take this sponge, and I'm going to go in the brown, but I'm going to go in the white too. And then I'm going to take my paper towel and kind of mix that together so it's a lighter brown. And then I'm just going to work right along the edges of that. Flip it over. I'm going to get a little bit more paint. And I'm just kind of hitting it and pulling it back towards me. And then get the bead part. So that kind of takes it up a notch there. So I'm just rubbing the back of this off just in case you might see the back. But that's the front. All right, so now we're going to take our crow. Where is he at? So we're going to use that crow that was right at the top of the roof. And we're going to put him right out a little ways. So you can just, oh, I plunked my stencil brush in the water. Oh, here's one I can still use in black. Hang on, let me get this over here. So I'm going into my black, which I actually got a little bit wet from my toothbrush, but I think it'll be fine. It's fine. So I'm just going to stencil that crow right on that ribbon. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to move it right down there. And do it again. Kind of swirling it around so it gets down in the ridges. Oops! I swirled it around too much because I made him a fat crow. Oh, shoot. I came out perfect today when I did it. I was just swirling. And the other thing is I had dipped. You don't want your paint to be inky because you don't want it to spread when you're stenciling. But I had stuck my wet toothbrush in there, and that didn't help my cause any, but I was also swirling. But never fear, you can fix it. Like, I'll fix that. It's fine. We will fix it. He will just be a bigger crow than I intended. You had to know that you couldn't get through this live without me doing something dumb. So here we go. We'll fatten this little guy up. We will, I mean, obviously it doesn't look as good, but by the time it all gets together and in the bow, I don't think it's going to be like a huge deal. This one's definitely a little big, isn't he? I'm not even looking at comments because I can only imagine you guys are probably cracking up. I am going to get my shock color. If I had one on, I'd be definitely getting the zapper. Okay, so I'm going to dry that. And now I'm going to go into that salted caramel. And put a beak on him. Yeah, he's a little on the wonky-fied side, isn't he? But I did one, I'll show you my bow. When I was doing it today, of course this is a bigger crow because it was for my bigger one, but it just turned out perfect. Unlike this one. But, okay, so I just crisscrossed some material. Just tore some strips, crisscrossed it. This is just ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I just kind of lay it like that. Oops. Like that. Put that one straight across and then like that. All right. So we have that already. And then we'll just take some jute. Oh my word. Sorry about that. I really didn't want to mess anything up, obviously. Let me find my scissors here. All right, so now I'm just going to wrap the top part. Which is going to make it hard to go back and do the sides, but I will do something on the sides because I don't want them to be plain necessarily. I don't think. Oops. Sorry, I just hit the camera. Oh, I'm almost done. Okay, so we're just gonna bring that around. I kind of like to spread those out, which I can do in a minute. So I'm going to take this and kind of squinch it up, smush it up, and then I'm going to tie it right there. Turn it a little bit. And you can maneuver this up a little bit so it's not running into the tree, which we will do. But I'm going to go ahead and tie this. And then you can use, like during Harvest in the Hive, I showed you those paper leaves from Hobby Lobby. They're really fun to use in the middle. And you can also, I was going to use this mum on these paper, like mini mums. I was going to use that on the burgundy. I thought that would be pretty with the burgundy one, but I didn't use it. They might be too big for this, but it might be too big. But anyway, you can trim up, like down here, that looks a little long. So you can go back and maneuver that and trim up places that you want. Kind of, you want your crow to be sticking out, and you want the big fat guy down here to be sticking out. But see, what I meant is, yeah, he's not perfect, but by the time you get it on there, really, in the scheme of things, you don't notice it as much as when you were just had it the only thing in front of you, you know, like. So so by the time you have your crows, or your crows, I'm worried about my crow. Like, you can do your pine cones, you can do, like, that's probably too big for that, but I did consider using it on that, which I really think is pretty. I might switch that out. I could take that leaf off because it's just paper. Like, I think that's really pretty to use the paper mum flower. With that, you could use that or this one. I don't know which one works. Maybe I don't know which one works better. But I think that's really pretty. So you can do that. I'll probably glue that on. And then you can just use a leaf. And I showed you during the hive with those leaves that you can tip them any color you want. So you can add, like I did burgundy on the edges of that one because I wanted it more to match the house. So this one's like a tipped a little bit more green. That one's too yellow. I wouldn't want it that yellow, but I don't mind the green on it, but I just don't like the yellow on it. So you can just do all kinds of things to make something match better. So you can dry brush, you can use it with a sponge. Like, I just love to do stuff like that to make it really coordinate. And then you can go in with a little bit of that green that you used on the house and then just tap it around on the edges. And use that in the middle. And then add like your pine cones and then the berries, which I don't know what to do with them. Oh, here they are. So I have berries, and these are from Hobby Lobby too, but you know, you can just snip off some of those. And just those little things that you add like that just make it all kind of come together and look really nice. So you can just, you know, snip that, and I'll work that back in there and shorten it up. But I'll probably take a spot of glue. I was going to say, you can kind of, if you don't want to make sure that doesn't cross over your crow, you can put a little spot of hot glue underneath there. But anyway, you can put your embellishments like that. And, you know, you can work that back in, which I need to put it back under that knot place. But, and then kind of top it off with your leaf. And it just makes a really pretty little block that sits, and it's just super cute. So I told April from like the Stenciled, I was like, that's so cute, but I'm really hoping that she does a winter version of the Saltbox house. She's so good at all that stuff. I think that would be really pretty. So, what do you think? Do you like the burgundy house better or the green? Like, which do you like better? I don't know where my little burgundy flower went that I had. Do you like the burgundy flower with it? Or do you think it's too... Or did you like the leaf better? Or do you like the gold one better? Which one looks better? Tell me. And those leaves, ours doesn't have any of the leaves left. I wanted to get some more, and ours didn't have any. But there's the two colors, kind of. So I put the doorknob there, but it kind of looks like a big dot. So I like the green. I like it on the blue, too. I didn't know if I would, but I really like it. You like the burgundy flower? Patricia likes the gold, the burgundy. Oh, no. So I've got gold and burgundy. The pumpkins stand out. Yeah, they do stand out better. That's true. That's true. So, yeah, I don't know. That was the burgundy, or the gold, and that's the burgundy. Or maybe I should just leave it the leaf, but I thought these are big enough and this piece is big enough that it looked, I should just use both. I just nuzzle them both in there. What do you think? I like both. If the burgundy is my fave, I don't know. Now that I lay both of them on there, I'm like, well, it's big enough that I could get away with both. I just need to probably move my pine cone a little bit. I could do it like that, but I'll have to see. So I thought the both looked, Tracy, I liked both too. So I'll probably do that. All right. So I guess I'll flip the camera up here, and I knocked my leaf off somewhere in the process of trying to see about my flowers. So anyway, well, there it is. So let's go from upside down to right side up. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's just a super fun stencil. So I can't hold it up now because, well, I guess I can if I hold that. Oh, I didn't flip it. I think if you have the stencil and if you haven't painted it yet, I think you'll really like painting it. It is really, really fun. A really fun stencil, and I can't wait for the winter one. So, anyway, I don't have the pine cones and stuff glued on that, but I'll try to put it up. But I do like both of them. I like the differences, like the background and then the green. So I'll get all that glued so I can take a picture of it. So, but I hope that you liked it. Hope you did. So, and this is just a scrap piece of wood. Actually, it's laser wood, and it's not even totally straight. It's a little bit wider at one end, but I used it anyway because I thought it would be fine on my porch. It was just laying by my table, so it's 7 3/4 wide. I don't know how long it is. 12. It's 22 inches long and almost 8 inches wide. But that's just a real thin piece of wood. So, but like you could use an 8-inch board, a 1x8, and that would be really cute on that. And then the other one, the one I did the greenhouse on, is a 1x6, or a 2x6, sorry. 2x6. This is a 2x6. So if you want the wording on it, just make it longer. And if you don't, but mine is 10 inches long. So I use that size a lot. 2x6, 10 inches long. Or 2x8, 10 inches long. Or 12, depending on the wording and stuff. So, alrighty. All right. Well, I appreciate you joining me. And like I said, I'm sorry about the text list. I know we don't have as many on because a lot of people just don't know. They don't get the notification. And So that's going to be a bummer, but until I can figure all that out, that's just what it is. So I'm not going to stress over it. So, yep, Rena, I like the red one too. I think I always feel like burgundy just goes really good when you're thinking of the primitive or the Saltbox. Sorry. Um, so that's fun. All right, I'll finish gluing that stuff in, and I'll let you go. So thanks again for joining me.